Hi everyone, welcome back to Pamela's Passion for Pencils. I am back with you again to continue working on this page in Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. I think today we are going to continue working on the house. I told you in the last video that I thought that was going to be the next thing I was going to do, and I wanted to go ahead and do the door on film so that y'all could see what I come up with for the door. I kind of really wanted this house to have a wooden looking door, but I don't really have the colors that I would normally use if I was doing a wood colored door. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match it to the shingles on the roof of the house and kind of bring those colors down into here so that the purple really stands out, as well as the highlights and everything that I have added in here. So the colors that I have are the colors that I used up here in the shingles and the roof, minus one color. In the roof I did also add Deco Peach, but we're not going to add that in the door. For the door, I have Pumpkin Orange. I don't even remember if in the shingles I added the pumpkin orange, but I'm going to so that I could get extra depth when I come down here and do the door. And Mineral Orange and Yellow Ochre, and then of course my little stubby cream pencil for our highlights. So I think that those colors are going to work nicely together. I don't think I'm going to end up adding another color into this one because I really don't have another color to add that would blend well. I'm kind of wondering if I'm maybe going to do some greens on the part of the door going across here. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing the door green and these colors. We'll see as I go, and I may change my mind as I go along. But I think on the outermost portion of the door, we are going to start that with the darkest color. Okay, so like I said, the darkest color that we're using is going to be the pumpkin orange. And I am going to come in here with this one and I don't want to go all full on in because I want there to be some kind of depth to the outside of the door. And so I'm just kind of lightly coming in here and still trying to decide what I want it to look like. So those of you that have watched probably the video that I think it's already been uploaded and posted, but I did one on the thought process of a colorist showing exactly the steps I go through while I'm thinking about what I really want my end product to look like when I'm coloring. If you can tell, I'm not really putting much pressure at all onto the pencil because I don't want a lot of that pigment placed down there. I really just wish I had a darker shade or like some kind of brown or something in my color palette, and that is what makes this so challenging. I love these color palette challenges, and I do them quite often even before I started my Facebook group, but this one has really probably been the most difficult one I've done. probably because of the palette that was chosen. And I decided to go with more muted tones just because I always tend to lean towards just very bright and happy, and like teals and pinks and colors, like that, and yellows, like brighter yellows. And so I wanted this one to be different. I wanted to kind of take a little bit of a break from that, but I don't so often blend these types of colors together, so it's kind of a learning experience for me at the same time. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my yellow ochre, and I'm going to kind of fill this in. Now I want, like I said before, I want the outside of the door to be darker, but I really don't want it to look all one color, because I don't feel like wood would naturally be all one color. But these colors blend together very nicely. But I'm not going to pull a lighter color into here just because I want the outer frame of the door to stay darker. But I want to be able to see a color variation. And see, you can definitely see the color variation in here. So let's go ahead and do the window. But again, I'm just coming in on the outside parts of it. I wonder if I should have done this window green. That probably would have been really pretty, but that's okay. That is quite okay. I may add a little bit of green into this door somewhere just because the parts, of the shingles here have the green in them. I just don't know where I want the green to be yet. But this was really pretty with this yellow ochre in here. And I'm probably using medium pressure here to fill this in. And again, I'm just trying to give it a little bit of a color variation. So I could be pretty quick on this one. Okay, now let's see how much darkness we can add back into there to kind of keep this darker, but still making it look like it's got a variation in the colors. as you could see, I did come in there with a little bit of the cream, and I think we are going to come back in with the pumpkin orange, which is the darkest of my colors, and we are going to add a little bit more darkness here in certain areas just to give it more variation in colors. So now that I have that done, I think it's time to come inside and do the inside of the door now. And I am going to start with my darkest color, and I'm just going to kind of do this where the lines are. Okay, so now do you see where I come in and make it a little darker here, where this, it looks like what maybe the steel anchors or something on the door are meeting with what is probably a wooden part here. So I'm coming in here and I'm just kind of outlining that because I want it to seem like this is to the front of that. So now we're going to come back in with a lighter color, and I have not decided yet if I want to go straight to the yellow ochre and try to kind of blend some of this out, or if I want to go with my lighter of the orange that I have, which is that mineral orange, and blend a little bit of that in there too. I'm going to try with the yellow ochre first, and we'll see what happens here. Because I want the majority of the door to be more so yellow toned. I really just want the door, or the inside part of the door, to stand out from this outer part of the door. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm coming back in with my pumpkin orange, and I am going to try to fill in some of these spots that I had missed when I came through here the first time, to make sure that you could tell that these pieces are placed in front of the door and that the door is behind. It looks like I missed quite a few of them. Oh, and all through here I missed. I'm making sure that I am not pushing too hard on the pencil though, because I don't want too much pigment being laid down here. I want just enough to where it is going to add some dimension. Yeah, and I think I'll come back and go over some of the areas that I did already go over. But I think that I like how this is turning out, and it's kind of going along with the idea I had originally envisioned for the door. It is so much harder when you've got a limited color palette to work with and you don't have that many choices, and you'll find that you just need to kind of make it work with what you have. And most of the time that's entirely possible. And if worse comes to worse and I can't, I will bring some other kind of medium in, like my Stickles or something, to add to it and give it a little bit more detail if what I'm trying to accomplish is just not working. Okay, so now we're going to come back in and we're going to finish with our yellow ochre. And we're going to work on pulling some more of this, what was that, our pumpkin orange. We're going to work on pulling in some more of that pumpkin orange. And I don't know if y'all could tell, but hopefully you could see it on the camera, but I'm leaving quite a bit of white, and I'm doing that on purpose. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. That is going to be my highlighted area. Okay, so I think I'm going to come in now with my mineral orange, and I am just going to go back over some of these. Notice now I have the mineral orange, rather than the pumpkin orange. So I'm trying to just blend a little bit of this out, and this color is still pretty much in the darker range and will look just as good. Now here, where we have a little small space kind of behind where these door slats are, that generally would be a little bit darker just because there's so much other area that is covered. I think I need to come back in here with my pumpkin orange into this corner here. Oh yeah, that's much better. This pencil seems so waxy though, this particular color. So I'm getting a lot of wax bloom with this color on my paper. But that's okay. We will go back and we will make sure all that is blended out when we do our final burnishing of the door. Yeah, I just want to kind of make sure that I get in all of the areas that I need to make sure they are going to stand out. And then of course this is going to be covered by the door lock and handle. So we're going to have more of the darkness in here. Okay, so this is my mineral orange. And I'm going to kind of try to pull this in. And then I'm going to come back in with my yellow ochre and kind of blend that out. But I'm not going to leave a whole lot of white space here because naturally the door lock is covering this area. This is my pumpkin orange. And I might go ahead and go over this now with cream because I don't like the way it was blending out or not blending out. There we go, that looks much nicer. Okay, so, oh wait a second, we forgot down here. What is this, a little door? Some kind of animal door or something? How cute. Okay, so we got all around there. Let's make sure we blend that out good. And I gotta come back in here and go around this area here. Now see how I made this darker? Because the two things meet so closely, and then I'll just come pull them through, and I think I'm going to go over this again with my darkest shade, my pumpkin orange. And let me go through and just pull these through a little bit more. I mean, the whole point with these Prismacolors is to get some layers down on the page, because if you get enough layers down on the page, that is what creates the difference between your depth and your highlights, and creating more dimension and making things look more realistic. And for me, that is the whole fun in coloring, just kind of seeing something come to life, not just with the color that I'm applying to the paper, but also making it look a little bit realistic to the eye, to like what it would look like if I actually was out in a magical forest and I saw this house. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? I think that's why we all enjoy coloring things like this, because it kind of brings us away from real life and all of the things that are going on, and I think right now is probably one of the most important times in a long time to be able to have that available to us, right? I know over the last few months I've definitely smothered myself in coloring, and it's actually been wonderful. So now I'm going to come back in with my cream, and I am going to go over all of this where you see the white, and I'm going to create a highlighted area in all of those spaces, and it's also going to work to burnish it so that you're able to flatten your colors or your pigments onto the page. I think I have decided to bring green into the door, and so we are going to do these slats in green, and I have another idea too, but just follow along with me. I think that it's going to turn out looking really nice. So I'm going to come in here and just kind of shade a little bit with the lime peel. And I don't really know where I'm going with this quite yet. But I just kind of want to lightly come in with the lime peel before I add any shades that are too dark or even lighter than this one. I was thinking that I would add some of my pale sage, but I'm not quite sure yet. Let's see where we end up. I'm really happy with the way the door turned out though. I'm kind of wondering if I should have done a different color here on the outside, but I think it's okay. If I had another color in that same color family, I probably would have came in and darkened it up, but I don't have anything else in my color palette that would go darker. Unless I just went over it and shaded the whole entire thing in with very hard pressure with the pumpkin orange, and I might do that, but I don't know yet. So let's get this all laid down first. I don't know, what do y'all think? You think we should do the lock to this color? I think so. I think so. And we're just going to kind of go full in with the lime peel on this doorknob because I already know what I'm going to do with this. And then maybe we'll go ahead and do this little, what is it, animal door, like maybe for a little mouse or something. We'll go ahead and do that down there as well. And I think I got some of the orange in there, but I'm going to figure out a way to fix that by getting my marine green, and I'm just going to go over this really dark like that. Oh yeah, that looks good. And then just kind of line this here very lightly so that I could kind of pull some of that color in. Let me zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing here. Now, if you notice, I'm using extremely light pressure because I just want to add some pigment here, but not too much. Then I think I'm going to take my pale sage and just kind of blend that out once more. See how that just kind of burnished that all together? It looks really nice. And then we still have our dark green here, our marine green, on the outer side. I really like that. Okay, so what my idea was here for the little handle was to come in here and just kind of do this. And I'm just gonna go straight through on all these slats, even though they've got a line through them like it's two separate slats. I am going to do this. And then how about we just make another one over here? See, those are the things you kind of have to do sometimes. You could always alter the artist's original work any way that you'd like to. And that is what makes coloring so much fun. That's part of it. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on this handle that I did down below. And I'm just going to very lightly kind of add some color to make it stand out, but not add too much. And then I'm going to come back in with my lime peel and I'm going to blend that out. And it looks like I might need to add a little bit more up in here. I just really want it to stand out as the actual doorknob. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing or if I'm in frame, but I hope so. So I'm going to go a little darker here in these corners. And then down here in this corner and on this side as well. And then I'm going to come back in and just kind of burnish that out and blend it together with my pale sage. And I think that looks really nice. This pale sage and the lime peel, when you put them together, they kind of make or create a whole different color, which is really pretty. And it really helps it to stand out more on top of these orangey tones. Okay, so now I am going to come in here on these other slats and I'm going to add a little bit of color. Okay, now I'm coming back in with my line peel. But see how I had the darker here? Because I've got this one laying over the top of this one. So I kind of wanted to make sure it was darker right there to create that depth that I'm always talking about. But it's very important to do that. You want to try your hardest to make things look as though they are realistic. Okay, so I'm going to come back in with my marine green. I'm going to pull you all down a little bit. And I'm going to do a little bit more shading here to create a little more depth. I'm pushing a little bit harder than I was before. But it's not hard pressure, it's just kind of still medium, because I just want to kind of put a little more color here on the outside. And I will come back and blend the whole thing in for a final step. And it should be darker. It should be darker way down here where this meets the edge of the door frame. Okay, so let's come back in here with the lime peel and just go over this like so. I think this is really coming together nicely. I love how this green just kind of pops off the more orangey tones. I had originally intended for this palette to look kind of summery, but it kind of looks more like the fall, which I really kind of like. It's different. But I think all those colors are blended together really nicely. I'm going to come in with my pale sage, and we're going to burnish this a little bit, kind of around where those dots are and stuff. And I don't think that I'm going to completely finish this door and the other two slats. I will do those off camera, because I think this video has probably gotten quite long already, and I just really wanted to give you an idea of exactly how to do this and what I do, and again my thought process that I go through before actually laying anything down onto the paper. Okay, so I'm going to show you one last thing and what I'm going to do with the little dots here on these hinges. And I think I'm going to do it to the dots here on the hinges and possibly the little dot on this door down here, but I always like to add Stickles to my coloring pages. You guys know I'm a little obsessed with Stickles. Okay, so we are going to come in here and just add a little dot of Stickles on each one of these. And after I finish the other two slats over here, I'm going to come in and do the same exact thing, but I really love how this door turned out. And then, like I said, we are going to add one little dot right here for the little, what is that, a mouse house or a mouse door? So cute. So I really like how that turned out so far. I will finish the rest of it after I end this video. I'm going to end this video right here. I hope y'all are enjoying this color along and doing this along with me. I know a lot of you have already finished your pages and you're posting them. They're absolutely beautiful. I am probably going to take a little bit longer because I'm trying to film as I go, and so I'm not coloring unless I film, which takes a lot more work. But I hope it's helping you all, me doing this. So anyway, if you are or have stumbled across this video and you don't understand why I'm doing this page and I keep talking about this Johanna Basford color along that I'm doing in my Facebook group, and you would like to join us, you will find the Facebook link down in the description, and you could just click on that link, put in a request, I will accept you, and you will find all the information in the Facebook group for this color along. It's not too late to start. We are still working on it. And so you're welcome to start now if you want to. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe so that you get notified of my future videos. We are going to do a lot of color longs, tutorials, and things of that sort. So I hope y'all are having a wonderful day and happy coloring. Bye.